Happy Friday, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed your first week in economics. So every Friday, I typically publish a YouTube video where I cover all of the week's content that we did, and I'll direct you to where to find things. So let's take a look at what we did for week one, right? And so if you ever, of course, need to know where to find things at our Canvas homepage, we primarily use two features on it. Of course, and I'll use Calendar for the daily update and in modules. So let's click on Calendar here. There we go. Within Calendar, usually, especially once we get into the flow of the class, you'll find that on Mondays and Thursdays is when I will post the assignments that we'll be working on. Fridays are usually a day where we wrap things up, and Tuesday as well, we answer clarifying questions. So if you're ever curious about work, you would click on that, and you'll see here, there's a description of what we're doing with a link, right? And so if you're ever thinking, well, I wonder what I've missed, go through the calendars and see what you've missed, right? And track that with your notes. In terms of this week, we had a number of things we were working on. First off, you would find if you went into modules, this document. I'm waiting for some stuff to load here. Here we go. So this is what we're doing for Unit 1. And you'll see some terms: scarcity, shortage, opportunity cost. These are things we've actually talked about, trade-off, right? So, and then there's a list of questions below. You don't have to answer these now, but when we're done with the unit, the expectation is you will be able to answer all of these and find examples, right? Apply them. So this just gives you a general overview of what we're doing. Also, if you were to click on modules, you would see this. What I've done here is, since we don't have enough bugs, we actually have them at school, but getting them to you guys is a problem. I've scanned a few pages from a text which has relevant words that you'll need. Scarcity, for instance, and there's a term here, right? Labor, capital, these are things we're going to be hearing about. Human capital coming up with factors of production. So that'll be useful for you. And that brings us now to the two slideshows that we did. We started the class with this one, which says, come on, open up. It'll say new, Unit 1, PowerPoint 1. And you see where it says in green, your future. If it's green, that means go, right? And that means that's something I expect you to do. You're going to open up a Google Doc, title it Unit 1, Economics, the basic principles. And then you're going to show me you've interacted with the slideshow. You're going to go through each one, answer the question, evaluate the choices. Here's bookwork. So this is where you pull up that doc, right? Explain the difference, right? Show me that you can get in here and try to do this. And then here I expected a paragraph. This paragraph here where you use the terms is how I'll know, it's again how I'm gauging if you're able to take these terms and use them in one within one idea. It's what separates a 2 from a 4. Right, application. So make sure you do a good job with that. You minimize that down. And then yesterday, that was Mondays, and then yesterday we went over two terms that we'll be using a lot: trade-off and opportunity cost. Right, I read a poem called The Road Not Taken. And then there's a couple things here. I asked you to make a T-chart where you reviewed your choices. If I gave you $1,000, all right, I didn't give it to you. You found it, you won it. What would you do with that? And in economics, we examine choices. For every choice we make, there's a group of choices we don't make, but there's really a second choice, right? That's your opportunity cost. It's the choice you do not make. And we actually want to measure that in economics because ultimately it always comes down to this or that, right? And so we're getting comfortable using the vocabulary. You'll put this in your notes. We'll add one more thing on Monday likely, and then I'll probably have you share with me by Tuesday as much as you've done. I need to do a check to see who's got their Google Doc going and who hasn't. So anticipate you sharing that with me before you leave for the Thanksgiving holiday break, okay? So that's it. That's what we've done so far in economics, right? Yeah, we've talked about some current events, but that's to keep things interesting. Otherwise, I'll see everybody in class this afternoon, okay?